Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Michael Dunaway here, your community manager from my.com on behalf of Skyforge. Glad to have you guys joining us today for yet another one of our official live streams here. With CBT3 just wrapping up, we wanted to show off a couple of the areas we didn't get a chance to in past CBT events, and then sort of talk maybe a little bit about what we hope to see in the future. So glad to have all of you guys with us today. Joining us in the actual stream is a couple of different people. We have, of course, Eric DeMilt, the Obsidian development director, who works with us. Eric, how you doing today?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, real great. Thanks for coming. You're on, as always, Rubber Duck here. What are you playing today? What class?
I'm playing the Cryomancer, so range DPS. Nice and simple. I just freeze things and kill them.
Yeah, speaking of range
Not
DPS,
complicated.
no, pretty straightforward. Freeze them, shatter them, do work. I'm playing the Gunner, as you can see here. We played this, I think, in the very first stream, and since then I don't think we got any time playing it directly. Of course, it's been in some of the 5-man streams we've done, but now we'll get to go through and show off a little bit more of the customization available to it. Joining us also is Terry Bilgewater, otherwise known as Aiden Karabiak. How you doing, Aiden? Yeah, so Aiden, for you guys who don't remember, Aiden is one of the senior designers at Obsidian working on Skyforge, works a lot on sort of the upper tiered high-end content in Skyforge, like the raids and any of those large big boss fights you've been learning about in recent reveals that we've been doing. So Aiden's responsible for a lot of that, so you can thank him for, I guess you can thank him for the difficulty, or thank him for the creativity, thank him for all that kind of stuff once you get to it. But what are we showing off today? Well, we're showing off Naori Island, or Nari Island rather. It is one of the large open world zones that you'll discover in Skyforge. So we've shown off a couple of those. Isola Digs, we showed off of course the Lambert Forest in way back when, and then we've also showed off the Mylene Cave. So we've shown off a couple of different varieties of locations, and one thing about Skyforge's open world zones is they're all distinctly unique. So they all have their own sort of ambiance to them and sort of theme, if you will. So Nari Island is something that we sort of showed in a previous panorama that we released way back in like December or so. As you can see, there's this giant temple here in the back, and we spoke about it as it's this sort of scenic location that the inhabitants of Aelion come to on a regular basis, and they kind of just use this opportunity to relax. And as you can see, there's some tourists there in the background. It's kind of just like a relaxation point, you know, where you would go to get a nice siesta, if you will. Unfortunately, that's sort of been ruined because over time, it's actually become invaded by the armies of water, and there's some other sort of nefarious creatures and the army of death present here on the island as well. So all of this is just sort of making it very difficult to enjoy themselves. And in fact, these Templars over here, you can see them sort of hanging out here, have been called in to try and eradicate these threats. And unfortunately, they're not doing too great of a job. They're having a little bit of a hard time doing that. So the Immortals have been called in. You have been called in through the Divine Observatory. You're in this area to sort of rid this place and try to evacuate and help these tourists survive this onslaught of creatures here. So the Nari Island is a fairly medium-sized open world zone that we have. We saw Mylene Caves, which is a little bit larger. Nari Island is about the 3rd or 4th open world zone you'll discover in Skyforge. But as you can see, I've gone ahead and ran around and sort of unlocked the major quest stones available in this area, as well as the uplink terminals. We're going to be taking you on a tour of the variety of sort of the scenic locales available in Nari Island, because it is a very vibrant and lush place for you to travel through, and there's a lot of cool things for you to see and sort of gaze upon. There's a lot of moments, you know, if you want to have a lot of those. Speaking of moments, things that are breathtaking, behind us we have something that's somewhat familiar if you've been playing in the closed beta of Skyforge. This is the Thias Temple, which is actually one of our solo or squad instance adventures that are available in the Divine Observatory. So within these halls, you're going to be fighting a lot of the water army creatures, as well as the water avatar himself, Proteus. As you can see, your rubber duck's sort of hanging out here. But just to give you some sense,
music and run the steps.
There you go. Where's the? Yeah, I need to I think it's copyright. Unfortunately, I wouldn't do that. But in the as you can see, the Thais Temple here, it's quite large. You know, you can really get a sense of scale, how far away those guys are up there. So a lot of locations in Nari Island and other places within the Aelion have this large, expansive places for you to just discover different pathways and sort of ongoing storylines within this area. So let's go ahead and jump down and get into the actual fray of the battle. We'll get some combat going on. Before we actually begin, though, we're going to go ahead and give out 2 beta keys. So we're going to have 2 separate keys to give out. We have 20 overall for this stream. Usually we only have 10, so we're going to have quite a lot. The keyword for this, in order for you to enter and be eligible in the giveaway, the keyword is going to be Scenic. So it's Scenic, S-E-E. Or S-E-E-N-I-C. Scenic is the keyword, and you'll be able to enter in and have a chance to win the key. And we'll give out 2 of those to 2 lucky winners. All right, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and teleport down here to the Temple Road uplink terminal just to get ourselves started here. We want to show off a lot of the locations. We only have an hour to do so. So I picked this area here because you can see there's some rocky cliffs. You can kind of see the general vast expansiveness of the ocean in front of you. There's a sort of remote little island over there that you can visit as well. In this uplink terminal behind us, we've got some of these jungle areas, and I think these are the Varexes as well, these creatures here. So in Nari Island, you have access to inner areas of the island being very rocky and sort of mountainous, whereas these areas out here are going to have a lot of the water creatures on the shores and what have you. So jumping down here, we're going to go down to these dangerous kappas. This is one of the quests down here. Always got to look out for those kappas. And we're going to take some of these out here. And if you guys aren't familiar with how open world zone questing works, basically you enter in a zone here and you complete a stage of that quest. Just, you don't have to pick up a quest or anything like that. You can just kind of come down here and immediately just start killing things, and that will contribute towards that. There happens to be a boss here, the venomous Garpike, which is an ancient kappa that we're going to have to fight here. He's actually part of a quest. So all of this will go ahead and enter in and contribute towards our progression here. So I went ahead and popped one of my cooldowns here, which gives me extra 30% damage over time. And I'm actually messing up my rotation. All right, there we go. So if you guys don't remember, for the gunner employs 3 different sets of ammo here. So they have 3 different modes that their weapon can activate on. I got to get out of these poisonous areas there. There we go. The normal one is the minigun. If I tap my 1 key, I'll switch to a plasma rifle, which will use the heat off of that minigun here. Getting a nice little stream of damage there. And once I've wasted all this heat, I can choose to either go back to my minigun, which is good for AoE or single target, sustained DPS, or I can bust out my rocket launcher and just deal massive damage here. But I only have 15 charges of my rocket launcher to use at a time. So here, just raining down absolute destruction there. Easy peasy with 3 people. We managed to kill that kappa. Kappa is out of there. All right. You can pick up some rewards here. I got a ring of courage for that. Nice. So we got to kill some of these tiny kappas there. Sorry, we just killed your clan leader, brother, mother, some sort of family member, I'm assuming. These guys.
He's ancient, right? So he's a grandpappy.
Yeah, he was a grandpappy, right? But you could be a woman and be ancient too. You don't have to be a man.
All right, true.
Let's come up here, kill some more of these guys. Got some range cryomancer DPS going in there in the back. A summon kappa, take him out. Let's see here. Eric, I'm going to have to turn you up just ever so slightly.
No worries. I get distracted when I'm playing the cryomancer and just start killing stuff and forget to talk, so.
That's alright. I think we got you now. Cool. We're good. Alright. Nice. We got some fried kappa there for dinner.
Ultimate.
Got some kappa there for dinner. Not bad. So a couple things we can do. Ooh, we got some azure water naiad over here, but we got to eliminate dangerous kappas. So I don't know if there's any more around this surrounding area. We'll have to probably
some to your
backtrack.
Right, no?
They're in here in the jungle a little bit.
Here.
Oh, they're napping. It's like I hate to disturb them.
Right there. Bam.
Yeah. It's funny. Like they weren't doing anything. They were just sitting here, absorbing the sunlight. It's some great sun. It's an awesome place to like relax. You'll notice there's some bungalows around. We'll visit. Areas for that the inhabitants of Aelion just come here just to chill and relax and I guess get away from all the invasions and everything that goes on continuously. Go ahead and
guild meeting.
Yeah, this is an awesome place for gilming.
Alright, where are y'all going?
Right here into the enraged kappas and the brutal kappas here. So we got one tank kappa and then these small little ones on the right. No longer though. Alright, here we're at 91%, almost done. Got some guys right back here, a ruthless kappa and then some more enraged. Just go ahead and get my minigun here to clear these guys out. And boom, quest complete, awesome. Alright. So with a lot of the sort of quest storylines in Skyforge, when you get into these open world areas, you'll have multiple stages of it. So there'll be different areas that you'll progress through, and maybe it'll lead you to another separate area of the zone where it'll continue that portion of the storyline. There's usually typically multiple storylines going on at once in one zone. So you have a variety of different types of monsters that you're typically going to have to face. So you won't just be facing kappas, you won't just be facing water naiads. Whoa, I like, knocked that guy down from so far away. Alright. Switch over here. I think there's another boss around here, and then we'll head up to the next area. So there's a boss right down here, this wave charmer. There's actually quite a lot of open world bosses over here. There's a wave charmer over there. Gotta get through some coral reef kelps here. I just love the distortion field that you can place down here with the gunner. This creates chain reactions of kinetic energy and just bounces all around everyone. Oh, nice. Alright, so there's a wave charmer here. So there's one of the bungalows here that's been destroyed, of course, by the encroaching enemies. We'll go ahead and attack this guy outright. Set him on fire, get a little bit of barbecue going.
Make sure you dodge that attack.
Yeah, he's got a big telegraph. That's his deal. It'll give you some hurt.
Getting some sustained damage off there. That's actually... Oh, I need to go and pick up some...
yeah.
Couple health orbs. There we go.
Telegraph, you're going to take some pain.
I think he's getting ready to do it now. Oh,
yeah,
yep.
Except I was watching you and he hit me.
Let's get out the rocket launcher here. So normally with your rocket launcher, you might opt to do your primary attack there, which is on the left key, the left mouse button. But I actually have a talent currently selected, which allows me to do additional damage. Oh my god, I was hit so hard for that. Allows me to do additional damage. I need to watch that telegraph. It allows me to do additional damage thanks to the talent. So I can actually use my right mouse button, do additional damage to the primary target, and also do splash damage in an AoE around that target as well. So just several different types of playstyles that you can have active with any of the classes. Guys, I just wanted to take a...
Aiden's got a new sword.
Really?
Yeah, check out his sword.
Nice. It's pretty awesome there.
Wicked looking. Just notice that.
Sweet. This is actually a perfect time to show off a little bit of the scenic water. So as you can see here, a lot of the technology that went into creating this sort of like look was actually fairly intensive, and as you can see, it sort of paid off because these waves in this water looks fairly convincing, especially for MMOs. So that's one thing that's really great about Skyforge is the graphical fidelity in comparison to other MMOs at this time is actually quite high, and we're very proud of that. So there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next area here. We're going to give out another set of 2 keys. So while we head on over to Temple Road, which is the next place, let's go ahead and... Where's Temple Road here? Temple Road.
Temple Road was one back.
Actually, yeah, we're on next Tranquility Grove. Sorry,
yep.
Read the wrong one.
No
Tranquility
worries.
Grove. All right.
Except somebody standing on the teleport point, so I can't.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Let's get off that.
Thank you.
This set of beta keys, these 2 beta keys, will be given out for those who put in Tranquil. So we're going to keep it nice and relaxed today, guys. So Tranquil will be the 2 beta keys. You just type in Tranquil here, and you'll be able to place into that random giveaway here.
Deaf guys. The Reaper of Fear.
All right, yeah. So here is a set or a squad, if you will, of Army of Death individuals. We actually have a Reaper of Fear, which I believe this is the first time you actually get to experience and see these guys. They buff the nearby carry-on tormentors to do additional damage here. So it's generally best to handle them in the background. And they're the controller type, of course. Let's put that down there. Just see if I can get this guy there. I got the guy in the background. This guy here is slowed down by 50% because of that. Taking out this Karen. Out of my charges.
Picked a fight with another group, Mike.
They were all together. It's okay.
Here with a separate group.
I'm cool. I'm taking this on.
Gunner, you'll hold your own, right?
Yeah, I can always just teleport around if necessary. I also have a defensive shield that I can place on myself, so we're pretty good there.
All right.
Here you can see these Templar forces have sort of been surrounded by the nearby death. So eliminate Reapers of Fear and carry on Tormentors is the quest in this area. Sort of focus on this Reaper in the back here. Oh, can I get my... There he goes. He's running off. And boom. Oh, explode nice. In the background there. Awesome. Now I have enough charges here. I can just immediately unleash my plasma stream on these guys. Lots of chaotic damage there. Nice. Easily dispatched for 3 immortals.
Yep.
Oh, so we got a High Reaper of Horror here, Card. Now, Card is another little sort of mini boss. I actually don't think we have the corresponding quest for him right now, but that doesn't matter. We can still kill him. Whatever.
He should die anyways.
Yes.
He's creepy looking.
He's an enemy, right? So shoot first, ask questions later.
My policy.
Seeking hand.
He's got the little Seeking Hand mechanic, as you can see here. I believe we can actually draw him around to these pots here to deal additional damage to him. Getting outright. All that damage coming in.
Yeah, I think we're just causing him some pain right now.
2 more, 1 more. There we go. I'm out of charges though, so go back to this.
Oh yeah,
I think you made him angry.
Well.
It's alright. So I'm saving on my ultimate here, which is an orbital strike. I'm saving that ultimate because there's an area later that we're definitely oh my god, that did so much damage to me. Was not paying attention. Holy crap. Let's go ahead and pick some of these up.
Equals bad touch.
Yes. That was a lot of damage there. He's getting low. Boom. Awesome there. Alright, so just a few more of these guys and we'll be able to wrap up this area right here. We'll move on to the next area. So in the back area here, while on the shoreline you have a lot of the... Oops. On the shoreline you have a lot of the army of the water sort of encroaching, a lot of those creatures coming from the depths of the water. Up here you have a totally separate problem with these army of death individuals coming up and sort of trying to infiltrate from the backside of the island. So as the farther we sort of push up this path here and into the jungle, the more and more of these army of death individuals you're going to find. So you're going to see a lot of carry-ons there. You're going to see some of their siege weaponry with their tanks. Keep killing these guys. We got 92%, so this should do it.
I just love that they pulled off the lush jungle thing, right? Like, I'll be running around here and just step on a monster because I won't notice it in the tall bushes.
Yeah, it's just holding out there.
That guy big time.
Let's get this guy here. Nice stream of damage. Oh, there he goes.
Toast, I got him.
Alright. Nicely done. Alright. So we finished that quest here. So what we're going to do at this point then is we're going to hop on over to Meditation Hill, which is the next little zone we wanted to talk to. So we just sort of covered, if you guys look down here, we covered the initial sort of Thias Temple here, and then we sort of jumped down to this area. Actually, before I forget, before we head on over there, I forgot to show you guys off in the distance here. There's just a lot of little landmarks that are good to show off, and a lot of places.
Jump out to the eastern beach. I think that's a cool view from there.
Yes, they.
Off to your right. Right. Oh, there you go.
I wanted to show off the monastery that's abandoned,
okay.
But we can. I think we can see it from there. I picked the Tranquil Hill here because you can actually see it from afar, from above, but we can see it down close as well.
Yeah, that one's got a great view, the one you were just looking at.
I'm looking at the comments right now, and randomly people were just saying 16. I have no idea why. Did I say something related to 16? I have no idea. Yeah, where's... Okay, so... We actually need to... I'm going to pop on over to...
And it's right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop.
Looking to show the sunken monastery.
I'm gonna pop over to the Quiet Harbor uplink, which I believe is the
Alright.
closest one here. So over here we can see this is another one of the adventures that you're able to do through the Divine Observatory, but it also has a questing zone in it currently. So this is right here, the abandoned monastery, if you will. So this was one of the first areas that sort of was overtaken by the Army of the Water. And inside of these you're going to find a lot of things like kelp and the ongs and the naiads as well, who have sort of taken up residence inside of it. We're not going to spend too much time because this place is actually fairly huge inside. But you guys will be able to see, there's also these pearls that you can pick up. These pearls are actually nice. These are a collectible item that if you pick up enough of those, you're able to trade them in and get a special, unique costume. So not all the costumes in the game. So for those who don't know about how cosmetics work in Skyforge, mainly the cosmetics are accessible through the in-game currency. You can trade your credits for the applicable argents and use those argents to purchase things from the shop that require argents to purchase. But some of the costumes are just naturally accessible through the game through achievements or through collecting a certain amount of resources. So you'll have a lot of different ways to collect different costumes if you don't want to simply convert your credits over into the argents. You don't want to conserve those. So I'll just kind of come in here really briefly and show a little bit off on the inside. You can see it's completely been overgrown here. It's been destroyed for quite a while. The local goddess has sort of disappeared and been overtaken, if you will. So a lot of these ruins just sort of have a reminiscent aura to them, how they used to be. You can kind of get a glimpse that things have been not so great here for a while. All right, what's going on over here? Oh. Aiden's killing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we can go further into that, but I think what we're going to go ahead and do, since you guys kind of just see a little bit from afar, what we're going to do is actually kill these guys because I totally just aggroed them. Watch out for the attacks there. But we're going to head up farther into the hillside and take a little more look up at what's in the backside of the Nari Island here. Did we lose Eric?
We did, but I am back now. I had some technical difficulties with my system.
No problem.
Gave it a reboot, and now it seems happy again, and I will be joining you guys momentarily.
It's alright, we're actually about to head up to the Meditation Hill uplink. So if you guys can just click there, we can join up there and jump up. We'll pop up here to take a look. So this is deep in the heart of an infested area, so there's quite a lot of roaming Death Army individuals here. There's also a lot of wildlife that really hasn't taken too kindly to the intruders. So you've got these lichens here, which have been being very aggressive towards the local tourists. And just that combined with the armies of death has made it a little bit difficult for people to enjoy themselves and rest and relaxation. But we're actually going to be heading up this hill here. We're not going to be sort of paying too much attention to these lichens right now. We've got a bigger problem on our hands that we have to deal with here. Some random tourists down here just sort of trapped in these bungalow areas. I'm sure they're wishing they could get a refund on their vacation right now. Let's go here. Oh.
Sorry, it's the 10th anniversary of the Leroy Jenkins video this week, so I have to pick.
Oh yeah, you just have to pick fights randomly. All right, that's cool.
Yep.
We're just thinning the horde. We attained 20% of the scraps necessary. We actually probably could do this quest as we go. Just do some drive-by shootings here. We're gonna have quite the feast tonight. All this lichen meat and scraps of skin. So for those of you who are wondering, why are you a god or an immortal? Why are you fighting to get scraps of skin? You can thank a guy named Garros for that. So Garros is one of the local sort of inhabitants of Nari Island here. He's somewhat of a hunting buff, and he just likes to pick fights, right? He likes to challenge people to ridiculous, things of brawn and might. So Garros, he's kind of been a little bit of a cocky. You know, I guess you could say he's a little cocky, and he thinks he can actually kill a certain amount of creatures.
Teddy died.
Whoa, Teddy getting ran over by the carrion cutthroats
I
here.
wasn't paying attention either, so I shouldn't make fun.
So these guys are actually pretty brutal if they hit you. So they'll do a charging maneuver here. Let's see if I can kill one of them before that happens.
Yeah, he took him out.
Oh, that guy's getting wrecked. See you later, son. But yeah, Garros here, he challenged us to kill these certain types of monsters, in this case Lycans, faster than him. You know, he wanted to see how fast he could do it compared to an immortal, which I guess is sort of like challenging Superman to see how fast he can run, you know. I think inevitably you're going to lose that, but we got a Death Ravager back here we got to deal with here. So these Death Ravagers are quite large, as you can see. You actually see these on Oki Island as one of the last bosses, but here they are sort of like the tanks, if you will. So they're like melee tanks, and then we've got one of the armies of death commanders up there leading it. But he's getting wrecked right now because gunners, missile launchers, OP, all kinds of damage. There we go. Got a carrion there, just running around, causing havoc. Oh,
nice.
What a giant, yeah. That's quite impressive here. So we've got actually a huge group. Let's group these guys in, and I'm going to use my ultimate to take them out. So that'll be on Terry here. Do it, Terry. It's on a hill there. All right, that was actually... Nice. It got most of them, but I was having a little bit of a hard time because of the incline getting it lined up. Oh, one of these carrion cutthroats left here.
These are the guys that killed me.
Yeah.
They have 2 tanks, so they can sort of stun lock you up a bit when you go in by yourself.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, not using your CCs and getting out of the way.
I'm gonna use my ultimate quite again because I can. There we go. It's the gunner ultimate is quite awesome to use. A lot of AoE damage, actually stuns enemies on the second pulse of it. This cutthroat here, not even a chance.
Nope.
Not even a chance. There's actually these Titan Scouts that we need to pull the data off of. So these Titan Scouts were gone in here to find out what was going on, and as you can see, they kind of were overrun completely. Naturally, as there's a giant amount of Army of the Dead around here. All right, let's go ahead and I've got a lot of charges of my rocket launcher, so nice. Rain down death and destruction on these guys. There we go.
Wow, you destroyed those guys.
Rocket launcher is no joke. Does a lot of damage.
Are we picking a fight?
We're picking fights. You know, the gods of Aelion, we're kind of bullies. We just we pick fights, you know. Everybody else is just hanging around.
I was just looking for a day at the beach, and they came along.
Oh, here comes the charge.
Yep.
Not quite long, you know, not quite in range there.
Out of the way of that deal.
There goes another one. Boom.
Wow, I don't like those guys.
They hit. Yeah, I have it pretty easy back here as range. You, Terry, you're right up and close to them. All right, let's get some fire going on this time. Oh my! What the? I just got overrun like immediately.
Killed as well. All right, it's up to Terry.
Come on, Terry.
Please tell me it's not the last one.
2 more. There we go. Whoa!
Oh my God, the last guy with the last swing.
I'll resurrect here and come back to you. I got him. So those guys hit pretty hard, as you can see. Deal quite a lot of damage. So you have to really watch out. Oh man, look at this.
The zone is, yeah.
Yeah, check out this. So this is sort of like one of the viewpoints that you can see. You can see quite a ways. You know, go all the way down there, and typically there'll be, you know, as you can see, some quests down there for you to do. And this is all areas that you have to explore on your own. You know, discover these uplink terminals before you move there. I have already gone through and added them all. But I remember a lot of times players were asking, why do you need, you know, mounts? What's the purpose of mounts in Skyforge? Zones like this are the reason why mounts are sort of beneficial. And this is just one of, I would say, the medium zone sizes available in Skyforge. So once you get to the higher prestige levels, you're going to see there are quite a lot of massive zones for you to explore and to find different experiences to add to your immortal, I don't know, experience life. I don't know. Whatever.
Exploring these big zones.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun for me. My favorite kind of content. These big open world zones.
There are a lot of, you know, these are a lot of fun for a lot of people, and certainly, you know, like we said from the get-go, we wanted to provide content for all types of players. You know, these zones are going to take multiple hours to finish here. So, you know, if you want to feel like you accomplished something, you can go and do a small adventure. But if you want to spend some time in the game, you can go through one of these large open world zones to progress. Let's go ahead, guys. Let's see here. Let's move over to Fairway Creek. Just a little bit farther up here.
Sounds like we're going golfing.
Apparently, okay, let's go to Fairway Creek.
Somebody picked a fight. It wasn't me this time.
It was me. I thought we were going, so not advisable by yourself.
Yeah, these zones right here in this area particularly, you would definitely want to do with other players, because as you can see, that you can get bursted on quite easily there. Let's go ahead and give out another set of beta keys. This time, we're going to say the beta key keyword for 2 of the beta keys is going to be one shot. So one shot, it's one word, just one shot, just like that. And that will be your keyword this time for another set of beta keys to get out.
Oh, somebody said secret word is pwned. How sad.
Secret word is pwned.
Yes. Talking about our lack of mad skills.
Oh, you know what it is. When you try to talk and show off the content at the same time, it happens. So we got some more roaring wave naiads and kelps down here to take out. As you can see over there, there's the remnants of the skeleton of some type of large amphibious creature that sort of beached itself long ago here. But this sort of just gives you an idea that, you know, the fights lasted and sort of persist through all different areas of Nari Island across the whole zone. And so you really do get to experience a lot of different unique landmarks as you go through this area here.
I dig it. It's like Tom Sawyer's Island at Disneyland or something. Just
right.
Run around on, right?
Just want to barbecue these guys up here a little bit. One of the tank ones is doing his AoE burst right there. Let's get some rockets going in the air. You know, I think the gunner class is like, you know, we're American. The gunner class is the most American class. It's like just lots of explosions and technology, and I wanted to sing like, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
He's really into freedom and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's singing like "And the Rocket's Red Glare" as he fires his multi-rocket off. He wants to liberate everybody with his massive amounts of technology. All right, here. Barbecue this guy up. Get him going there. Get him off of you, Rubber.
There we go. He's dosed. I've got that ice slide too, so I can break contact pretty easily, which is cool.
Nice, nice, nice.
Barry Bilgewater's getting beat up on pretty good here.
I had focus there for a little bit from that Naiad.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's pick up those health globes. We've got a rough sea Naiad.
Of them over here.
Yeah. Let me switch over here. Get some disruption going. Lots of chaotic energy there. Just bounces off all of them. Does a lot of damage.
Yep.
Go inside this guy's rotten and decayed body here. Nothing inside there right now, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Hit for 400 there. Get the field down. There we go. There we are. Awesome. What are we up to? 93, so we're almost done here. I can do this really quickly. Just call in the orbital strike. Boom! There we go. So as you can see, that's 2 of 22. So we were able to finish just the second of the 22nd part of that long quest chain. So you have quite a few options here. What I want to do right quickly now is to teleport up to the secret forest uplink terminal.
Yeah, I beat the fight.
Alright, it's alright. It's cool. Nice use of the ultimate, Terry. There we go.
Alright, where are we going?
So we're going to the secret forest uplink terminal. It's a nice little view. It's actually a view of the area that you start in the game. Or start in the zone, rather, I should say. So this is sort of one of the best views available on Nari Island. You got a view of the Thias Temple here on the left. And on the right you have the general port. This is where everybody comes in. And most of the tourist stars is where you start your adventure on Nari Island. Down there, amidst everybody here. And then off in the distance you can kind of see over there on the left there's the monastery and then the remote island way over there. So you really get a sense of the scale of this zone. I mean, we were down there just fighting about, you know, you can't even really see where we would have been. It's that large of an area. So the view is quite spectacular. I think that's one of the best reasons why this zone is so fun, is that you get to see different areas of the zone from different levels, if you will. So you always have a sense of scale, if you will. There's these armored barracks here that we got to kill. But there's really 2 different types of encounters I want to show before we end the stream today. So let's jump down here to this Lycan pack leader. We're totally going to just bring the pain from above. It's another little boss. This Lycan pack leader just hangs out. As you can see, he looks like he's killed a tourist who was just venturing around, you know, minding his own business. Actually, it looks like he has a bow right there as he was hunting. He picked the wrong fight with this mocker here.
Wanted to challenge you.
Right? Lots of damage there. Oh, he's chasing.
Yep.
Let's get the rocket launcher out here. So a nice finish. Bam. Got ourselves a ring of spirit. Awesome. Let's go ahead and equip some of these items that we've been picking up here. Got Valor, Luck, and Temper here. So Temper allows you to inflict maximum damage regardless of the target's health. So it allows you to just basically do most damage based on some of your other stats that sort of inflict additional damage based on the monster's HP levels. Got some more dash activation there. Discharge Recovery, which is how fast you get your impulse charge back. So we got a lot of different sort of bonuses available to us. And here's some Frightened Moas. I think this is the first time we actually showed off these in a stream. We got to take out these Frightened Moas who have sort of been frightened by all the encroaching enemies and you know, all the tourists that are coming through here. So they're not exactly being the nicest of creatures right now. So we got to keep this place friendly to all the residents of Aelion. You know, we have to remove the local wildlife to ensure that that's okay.
Crazy wildlife that's encroaching on the people, right? Like,
yeah, you know, you don't see us killing like parrots and stuff, you know, just the stuff that's trying to kill people. Some more wild lichens over here to clear out. So we've sort of like given you a pretty hasty tour, if you will, of a lot of the different areas of Nari Island here. Of course, you know, there are many more additional quests and storylines for you to partake in Nari Island. Outside of the ones that you've just seen initially on the map, because you go through different progression stages, I should say. So right now, as you can see, we're 3 of 18 on the hunt. I'm gonna activate this protection beacon rather. There we go. Just gonna go up there. Nice. And we got a little bug going on you right now, Rubber Duck. You are an invisible man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, beta is beta, right? Yeah, but yep. You're wearing some sort of cloaking technology. I need to get that on my gunner. You know, the gunner's all about the additional tech there.
Alright, let me see if Rubber Duck can reset his visibility.
There we go. If I pull up on the map here, you can see each of these sort of quest lines ends with a sort of massive boss fight here. So we're on 2 of 8 of the Army of Death, 2 of 22 of the Challenge for an Immortal, 318 of the Hunt, and overall, out of everything we've done on Nari Island, we've only done about 14%, and it culminates in sort of a massive storyline arc where you're going to fight the boss of the zone, if you will. So you do have quite a lot to progress through here, and it's going to take you a number of hours to do. So if you really want to sink your teeth into a large chunk of the storyline, a large chunk of the content, these open world zones really give you that opportunity to do so. All right, let's give out one final set of 2 codes at random. Then in that meantime, we will prepare ourselves to answer some questions. So to end our sort of random giveaway period, let's go ahead and give the keyword. We'll make it, I don't know, let's see, Aiden. Random keyword. What can you think of, man?
Well, let's do, I've been playing the Paladin all these, so we'll just say Paladin.
Alright, Paladin. We'll keep it simple. So, Paladin's a random keyword here. So as we do that, we'll get to the question time. So as soon as the, everybody's typing in Aiden.
I thought you were saying my name as well. That's funny.
That's my bad. It's Paladin. Everybody have to ban Aiden as the word. There you go. Now people are saying Paladin there. There we go. So we'll wait for Paladin to go through, and as soon as we pick the 2 winners there, and we'll opt for the we'll opt to do some questions here to give out our keys. While that's happening, we'll get a quick tally on how many keys we have left. So it looks like we've got a pretty good amount of keys left to get out. So we'll wait for everybody to say Paladin, and we'll continue on. I think we can, let's finish up this. So we got 85%, so we can keep working on this quest here while we wait for that to clear. There you go. Someone was asking what computer stats the stream computer is running on. So keep in mind, this computer is not what's required or certainly even needed to play Skyforge. It is mainly so that we can show you guys the beauty of Skyforge while also streaming it in the best quality possible. But it is an i7 8-core that is water-cooled, running with 16 gigs of RAM and a 980 GTX. So that is the current system that it's running here with the stream as well. But the actual requirements for the game are quite a lot lower, so you don't have to worry about having anywhere near this kind of system to actually be able to play the game. Just killing out some MOAs here.
Hey, did I ever become visible?
Oh, I totally picked up another pack. Where are you at?
Oh,
back here? You're visible, man. I can see your body.
Oh, look at you. You're running. You gotta just train a MOA's body.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of MOAs coming after me now. Like, guys, I pissed them off.
Yeah.
Here we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead and answer some questions here as we continue moving forward. So you guys can start dropping questions. Just make sure to put add official Skyforge so we can see them. So you drop add official Skyforge, and then we'll be able to answer some of your questions. We have quite a number of keys still left to give out, so we'll try to answer as many questions as we can, as quickly as we can, so that we can get those listed there. So Kiando has a question here. It's actually a pretty good question regarding, are we concerned that Pantheons with members that pour in real money to such a degree that the only way to compete against them is to do the same? So that is something that we've considered, and we do know, of course, that players who are able to use money to sort of convert into credits and help progress. That whole system is still in the open beta in Russia. That's still in progress, of course, so that's all subject to change to a degree. But certainly, if you are worrying about if a Pantheon is going to be facing off against another Pantheon who has used money to sort of accelerate their progression, not necessarily gain progression that you yourself couldn't get as a Pantheon, but accelerate it. That is not really too much of a worry, because you'll be able to face off against Pantheons in the queue in the matchmaking that are relevant to your prestige level. So you shouldn't have to worry about facing against Pantheons who have just poured nothing but money into the credit system or what have you, even though there is a cap on all of that, just because of the fact that you'll be facing off against relevant Pantheons at your prestige level. So you shouldn't really have to worry about encountering those Pantheons. Those Pantheons will face against other relevant Pantheons who have also invested money into it. Eric, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. I mean, that's kind of the core underlying principle of how we want to match players to players. You know, inexperience is making sure that you're matched to players with like prestige and like progression, and the same is true of Pantheon level activities. You know, so if some players do have more time to invest in the game or more money to invest in the game, they're not just outclassing, you know, or are grossly overpowered to those who don't, right? We want it to be a fair and compelling experience for all the users. You know, it's something we try and keep an eye on, whether that's in PvP, PvE, large-scale activities, Pantheons, you know, invasions, you name it, so.
Here's a question for you, Eric, from Pogen X. Can you do all the things in the game without paying real monies?
Yes. So we don't want to lock any of the content behind a paywall, right? That's another one of kind of the design principles. So, you know, money is going to make certain things go faster and be easier for you, but nothing will be just explicitly locked behind. You know, if you don't pay X, you can't participate in this, or you'll never get this reward, or anything like that. You'll never be able to progress to X. You know, what we've found in looking at titles like this and looking at the free-to-play market is there are a mix of both players that want to play and enjoy these games and never monetize, and those players add value to the other players in the game as well as having their own fun. And then players who either have limited time or have more resources and maybe are willing to you know, pay for premium content. You know, hey, I'd like to accelerate a bit faster, and that's worth $5 to me, or whatever that number is, right? Or hey, I want to unlock that now, or you know, sort of pay for convenience stuff. But we definitely don't want to block anything behind a "you must pay to enter."
Awesome, thank you. Let's see here.
I saw a question from Hybrid Code about moddable UI. You know, asking, will you be able to customize the UI? Right now, no. You know, that's a challenge for every game. You know, making a moddable UI requires tools and stuff like that. A lot of games have done it really well, had some success with it. For us, since we wanted a game that was quickly and easily accessible, we wanted to be able to switch character classes easily, which means changing the UI on the fly. You know, that added a level of complexity to a moddable UI that we didn't want to address, at least going into OBT, right? That doesn't mean that's not something we might not look into down the road, but today it's a static UI. Certain things can be turned on or off or tweaked, but it is not moddable. Then users are really clever, I'll say that, and then somebody will post a video of how they modded the UI, so, you know, there's that.
So here's a question that Aiden might be able to answer. This is from Mimmer Swag, who says, "What does?" Oop, there the question went by. He says, "What does your MMO offer in terms of long-term playability and group-based difficulty or raid that aren't already offered by something like World of Warcraft?"
Well, I think one of the things we posted today, the anomalies, is definitely something a little bit of a different experience. It's kind of a large zone, sort of like the one we're in right now, except it's all high-end enemies basically, and you know, you're going to get a group together in order to go in there and compete for various spawns at you know, kind of locations or territories that your group owns basically. And that's definitely going to be a different experience, but we do still of course have raids and you know, a lot of different PvP content that people will be able to do as well.
We also have invasions, which we sort of debuted last week, I believe. And invasions are just another form of that sort of high-end content. It has a raid component to it, but there are more stages to it involved than just simply a raid. It's something that has to sort of involve the entire server. It has server-wide implications to it, and it's going to require that the best pantheons sort of rise to the occasion in order to try and invade. You saw in the trailer at the beginning of the stream potentially, where you see the gods sort of ascend into the heavens and face off against these encroaching alien ships. Those are the invasionary ships, and so you as a god and as an immortal are going to have to enter into those ships and face off against the harbinger of the enemy invading god. So that is a very sort of multi-stage component that's high-end again, requires not just raids but also single-player content as well as group content. All of that contributes towards that progressing that sort of invasionary storyline. So that's something that really hasn't been done too much a lot in recent MMOs, and certainly something that I believe isn't currently available in World of Warcraft.
I think you know, one other thing worth mentioning is some of the underlying gameplay is different too, since we don't have the traditional holy trinity of, you know, tank, damage, healer. We also have the ability to switch classes, right? You're not as locked into that raiding experience. So if you have a role, right, you're the healer and your job is to keep these end guys up, you know, that sort of stuff. So there's a lot more. I can't talk today. There's a lot more flexibility in your roles and what you're doing and what you can do. You know, it's just, there's some fundamental differences in how the game that is played that makes some of this traditional raiding content or some of these newer systems, invasions, anomalies, that type of stuff, different for players. And then on top of that, you have the whole new progression of your god form and that god atlas, you know, and the things that'll bring to the table as well, that are open to you and will change up how you play at those high levels.
Awesome. Let's see here. How does tagging of mobs work in the game? This is a question from Hunt for Killy, or I can't pronounce the last part of that guy's name, but he's like, how does tagging of mobs work in the game? Is the first person to hurt them, or is it the highest percentage? So with tagging, it's actually anyone who hits them. So it's not like a old school MMO where, you know, it's only the first person who actually tags gets the credit. Everybody gets their own credit for assisting in the mob. Of course, you know, that's separate from hold on a second here, let me run away. That is separate from things like aggro and things that are more gameplay oriented mechanic wise. But in terms of, come on, let's see if I can get this guy. There we go.
Where'd you go?
I'm up here just killing sorry, I'm up here. I'm doing content. Like I'm on the island here. I'm on the besieged land.
We'll come save you.
I'm on this far island here. But yes, things that are like aggro mechanics and stuff like that, that still has a bearing on, you know, who attacks you and what attacks you and how often it does. But things that are related to just, you know, completing quests and getting your own loot, that's all shared. So you get your own loot, it's separate from everybody else, and as well, whenever you complete a quest in a zone or a region that someone else is also working on, both of your attacks on a single target are the same. They both count. See here. Someone named Eddie Rasta, he says, I heard that the Russian OBT has a function that allows for players to group up with lower prestige players, and it just sort of places them into a relevantly leveled prestige. That is correct. That is available in the Russian OBT. That should be in the CBT here in the West. We're working on implementing that feature and functionality into the next CBT. So in the next one, you'll be able to group with your relevant players that are your friends who maybe are 3,000 or 4,000 prestige lower to you, and you'll be able to do content that's relevant for all of you. So that's something that currently was not working properly in the CBT, this version that we're playing in right now. But in the next version, that will be properly implemented as well.
Yeah, one of the goals of the next CBT update is to get more of that group functionality working the way it was intended. You know, we have had some challenges with players who want to play with their friends if they get out of sync on Prestige. Keeping together with that content, you know, having fun together. So we definitely want to roll out those changes and see how players here enjoy them, and also find out what we missed and what we need to do more work on.
So there's a question here from Sima81. It says, in the future, will there be a possibility of going beyond Aelion or even counter invasions?
So we have teased that. I think that was teased a bit in the Invasion dev diary. You know, it's something that we as a dev team always want to do. You know, it's not something we would ever rule out, right? It would be super cool to be able to, you know, artistically and creatively explore, you know, what an entire, you know, what does the world of the mechanoids look like? Or, you know, for me, right, it'd be all creepy horror. What does the world of the Army of Death look like, right? Get my Cthulhu mythology on, my Lovecraft. You know, super creepy and dark and all that stuff. You know, for right now, we are still obviously focused on making Aelion a fun and compelling experience, doing everything we can to make that kick butt for users. You know, the first experiences with alien areas of the game will be when you're going to the alien invasion ships, right? And those are sort of a representation of their home world. But it's something we definitely, you know, have definitely thought about, talked about, would love to do. But don't have any firm plans, you know, especially that evil producers like me will let anybody talk about. You know, devs, when they want to mock something up, they can do things like that internally, and, yeah, wouldn't it be neat if? So hopefully that's something we'll be able to do down the road. But first and foremost is get the game as it stands today, get all the kinks out of it, get that stuff rolled out, and make sure it's doing everything it needs to do here on the planet of Aelion.
So this is something that that we get asked a lot. Are there plans to add more classes to the game? So yes, that's a huge part of the progression system in Skyforge. You know, at launch we're going to have 13 classes. And just to rattle off a couple of ones that you haven't seen yet, if you haven't been paying attention to the RUOBT, there's the Monk, there's the Alchemist, the Witch. So there's quite a number of classes, and the Knight, of course, for players to explore innately. And then we do have additional plans to continuously add more classes as the game progresses. So 13 classes is certainly not going to be the final number, and there'll be more classes to begin with. But 13 is certainly a lot of classes to start with. And we'll be adding more as players digest the content and keep unlocking those classes. So there is a question, will there be a potential for larger groups in dungeons, etc.? So right now the dungeons are set at the max of 5, but of course there are sort of things in between raids and dungeons which are somewhat larger. So you can get, you know, groups of 10 in something that's somewhat between the difficulty of a dungeon and a raid. But traditional dungeons, where you would think of, you know, having a few bosses and you know, something that would normally be designed as 5-land, that really is, you start to get into that zone where it's kind of a raid already when you get above 5 players. And typically, if you just want to go by traditional MMO standards. But we do have content available for players who don't want the challenge of a raid, but still want to do something in groups larger than 5.
Yep.
Let's see. Will we be able to customize the god form to our liking? That's from Mr. Fuzzy 11. So there is some custom. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
Yep. So there's some customization of your god forms, right? We'll have 3 different looks initially that will roll out, and then, you know, like all the other content in the game, we'll expand that library of looks and customization options as we go forward. So, you know, I think that you know, the god form video teased some of that stuff. You know, the different looks to those characters, right? The robotic, the demonic, and then the traditional, you know, Aelion humanoid form. And those are super awesome, right? Certainly I'm my favorite. It's a library of stuff we'd like to expand out going forward as well.
Yeah, customization is a really big part of Skyforge. And so the initial customization options for the god form are, in comparison to the traditional options for customizing your character, are a little bit less fleshed out, you could say. Right now there is some options to change the outward appearance to a couple different customization option that you may have saw if you checked out our god form or our god form reveal. But there's also some things that you can change, like skin tone and aura color, those things. So there's some customization options available to you for that. And as Eric said, we hope to continuously expand that so that you have a full range of options, so you can really get your entire character, not only your immortal form, but your god form, looking how you would want it to look as if you were the actual immortal and god yourself. Let's see here. There's one from Lumio rather, who says, will Pantheons have any physical place/building for the members to gather?
Not right at launch. You know, this is another thing we really would love to do, and a lot of people have talked about it. You know, there are some technical and resource challenges. You know, player housing or guild housing is always an awesome system, and it's something that, you know, as devs we definitely are always keen to do and put in. You know, so it's something we've talked about, but not day one.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
All right, so it looks like we have 2 keys left here. How does attaining and using the god form work?
So obtaining the god form is something you work through progression in the Ascension Atlas to unlock. You know, so similar to how you'd unlock a new class or anything, you know, on that upper level of the Ascension Atlas, as you're developing your character, you're going to make decisions about where you want to spend those reward resources, what you want to develop. One of those options you'll eventually work towards is unlocking your god form. When you've unlocked your god form, right, that is pretty unique and pretty momentous, so that will unlock an entirely new level or matrix in the Ascension Atlas, which is the development of your god form. You'll also have access to your god form, which you can go into during combat, and some new gameplay systems. You know, that god form uses its own resource to you know, that you have to accumulate and spend. You can't just hang out in your god form 24/7, except in certain types of content. You know, and so the game sort of progresses from there. So, you know, in that upper level of the Ascension Atlas, you'll find the god form, which you unlock, and then from there, that'll have its own secondary matrix that you get to develop out.
Yeah, and one thing just to add to that is when you first get your god form, it's a very limited resource, right? So you can use it for roughly 14 minutes or so in the current OBT version when you get it. Later on, as you continuously progress your god form, you'll be able to access it much more frequently. It will take a lot less resources to activate, and it will last for longer. And of course, as Eric said, some content allows you to keep it on perpetually without the need to use, you know, resources. So there'll certainly be options for you to progress it past what it's initially available. So once you get your god form, what you have and what you can see available to you isn't the entirety of it. You know, like everything in Skyforge, all the different systems have multiple layers of progression in them, and so there's always depth there for you to sink your teeth into. All right.
I'm laughing at the do gods have chest hair. You know, to be honest, I don't know. Not something I've ever thought about.
Was that actually Aiden asking that question?
No. Aiden was
Okay.
asking, jokingly, that question earlier about one of the outfits he was checking out, right? It should be a customable option. But yeah, it just came across in one of the chats.
So yeah, one of the side effects of becoming an immortal is that you don't have chest hair. It's just something, you know, as a perfect human being, you just don't have access to that. I'm gonna die. All right, I was not paying attention there. All right, I think we have one last key to give out, I believe. So let's see here. Let's see. Can we try to find a good one here for us to end with? Well, we can certainly do a duel. Why don't you guys come? One of you come up here as we finish this up. As I try to find the last question to ask to wherever I am.
You are at the Serenity Shore uplink terminal.
We'll do some PvP here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let you fight Aiden. My last fight was humiliating until I had the Slayer. So where are you at? There
We're
you
both
are.
up here now.
All right, so yeah, pick who you're dueling.
So there's a question about the cash shop. I'm going to be dueling, of course, Terry Bridgewater. People are wondering, like, have we given thoughts about the cash shop? Yes, there is. As we mentioned before, everything in the cash shop is going to be available to you in the game. So you're not going to really be shut off from purchasing things in the cash shop that you would otherwise not be able to access, if you will. Did you get that duel?
I did. Hold on. I had on tanking talents, and that's just not
he's
fair.
gonna reset.
Oh, that's just okay. Well, I don't even have like PvP talents. Let me do that. Like, let me just go in here really quickly. This is gonna be try hard here. Okay, let's do this here. All right. Let's see. Let's go for. Is this the tanking plates? Nah. Movement speed, sure. I need more time to practice my gunner PvP skills.
I only have 2 talents. It sucks. All right, I'm ready.
You have 2 talents? All right. Let's see here. All right, well, cool. That stun, sure. All right, well, let's see how this goes. Let's see. Do we have any? I think we still have a. Have we given out all the keys? I'm asking my moderators really quickly here if we've given out all the keys. If not, we will go ahead and ask one more question. 1 left. All right. Eric, I'll let you find that last question as I duel Aiden here.
All right. So you know what? I actually found one earlier. Where'd it go? It was a bit of a throwback question. So there are 2 actually I thought were kind of interesting. So the first one was by I don't have the name, but about open world PvP in the game. So there is no open world PvP in the game right now, and the reason for this decision is to prevent griefing, right? You know, if you could just wander through the world and some high-level player shivs you, wow,
Teddy wrecked me.
Yes.
Teddy wrecked me.
Well, now you see why there's no open world PvP, because people like Aiden could just shiv you and you'd die and you'd be sad.
All right, let's do this again.
So we want to give players the opportunity to know when they're going to get into those situations, specifically opting into them. So the second question I wanted to address was Offski Bro's question about wondering about if they bought access to the Founders Pack, would they be able to play it, or they're only open on certain days. So if you purchase Founders Pack, you'll be able to play automatically in CBT events. Right now we've just closed down CBT 3 and have not yet announced the start date for CBT 4, but once we open up CBT 4, you'd be able to get in there and play the game. Is not looking good for our gunner here.
It is not. It's. I'm getting wrecked. I didn't have all my. I specifically was setting this character up. I was like, I don't need PvP talents. I'm not going to unlock those.
I think you specifically took a beating.
I took that invulnerability too strong.
My charge roots you for 2 seconds, and it just gives me a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, he's able to just wail on you during that window and get you burned down. So.
Here. Let's try this. One last time. We'll break out everything here. Oh, come on! Was trying to get my my ultimate going. Unfortunately, ultimates are pretty. There we go.
There you go. You did hurt him.
I'm so slowed all the time.
Yeah,
all right.
He's able to close the distance with you pretty well. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, nice. Well played.
Ah!
No, don't let him.
Ah!
You're done.
Ah!
Done. He's gonna reach you.
I used my ultimate, but all right. Okay, wait, am I dead? Where am I at?
You are invisible. Right?
Invisible.
You got in that state I did. I was able to fix it by going to one of the uplink terminals, teleporting away, and then teleporting back.
Man, Terry wrecked me so hard, I ceased to exist on this plane. All right.
Here we go. Developer cheat. I've killed Terry for you.
Oh, awesome. I can now roam around and be a true immortal, invisible. All right, let's see here. Okay, guys, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up our live stream for today. Much appreciated everybody who came out and joined us. I hope you enjoyed all the answers to the questions. The 20 keys have been given out now. If you guys are lucky enough to win one of those 20 keys, you will be awarded that by one of the moderators in chat and Twitch sometime in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So keep your eye out for that if you haven't already got it. Appreciate everybody coming out. If you guys have further questions you want answered, I really recommend that you go and you leave them on the official forums. You can reach those by going to sf.my.com and clicking on the official forums there, and you can either reply in the live stream forum thread, or you can just leave them as a question in the general section itself. Appreciate, again, just everybody coming out, everybody joining and sort of supporting the game. Rubber Duck and Terry Bilgewater, really appreciate you guys joining me again for this stream, as always.
Anytime, it's a blast. Especially when I don't get beat up in a duel and I get to watch you get beat up in a duel.
I know. I'm no longer the PvP champion in these duels. Yeah. I've been disgraced.
Redeem yourself and punch on me next stream.
Need to go commit Sudoku or what was it? Yeah.
You're gonna commit a puzzle game?
Yeah, I'm gonna commit a puzzle game.
Seppuku.
Seppuku, there it is. Yeah, Sudoku. It's been a long day. I've been up since 5 a.m. Okay, it's been a long day.
One of those books. I think my mom or my grandma's probably got one sitting around. We'll send you one.
All right, it's gonna be all right. I'll just end on that note there. Yeah, I'll go and do a puzzle game or something. That's exactly what my mind needs to do at this point here. All right, guys, appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the forums, and until next time, later.
Yep. Thanks a bunch.
Bye bye.